Wrestling with Rosenberg. I am happy today. I'm sitting here with one of the, in hip-hop we call it, someone like this guy, top 5 dead or alive. On anyone's list, HBK, Shawn Michaels, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, thanks for having me.
One of the true greats.
Well, that's very nice. Top 10 dead or alive is,
Top 5. I said top 5 dead or alive.
Top 5. Oh, hey, well, that's even better. Heck, I'll take it.
You had an amazing run. It's funny, a lot of people came up to me towards the end of you were on the WWE, and because I'm a wrestling geek, kept asking me like, "Oh, he's not really leaving." And I said, I got to be honest, he's out of there. And that was just based on a fan and how much I watch, and from what I could tell, I was pretty sure from when you first it started looking like you were going that you were going to be done and end it there. Was that a real conscious thing? You've seen the way a ton of other wrestlers have gone out, and boxers and all kinds of athletes. Was it really clear for you that when you were done, you were done? Yeah,
well, I think you weigh all those options, all those thoughts, you can still do it, and you feel like I can. And I do it. I do it as well as everybody else who's half my age, and I could probably keep doing this. But for me, it was more important to step away on a high level. And honestly, I was ready. I had, done all the due diligence I felt like I could do. I thought about it. I weighed all my options. We pray a lot in our house. We did that, and I felt that it was time to come home and spend time with my family and raise my children and take a bigger part in raising my children and being a part of their lives. And it all seemed, we base our decisions in our family on how much peace we have with the decision we've made. If there's something inside you that, doesn't really feel right, we don't do it. This one felt
it was right.
Yeah. So and that's the thing. Everybody, is it tough? Can you watch it? No, I can do all that. I'm so unbelievably content and happy. You have to understand, it's not just content. I don't want to be around it anymore. I'm burned out. No, I'm so proud of the work that I did, and I'm good with that. I don't know any other way to express it to people. There's just nothing there, good or bad, to make me waver in any way.
Was the whole period post 2002 when you came back after the injuries, and from everything that I've ever read, really came back a different person than people had seen previously? Was the last 9 years really an opportunity not only to continue to have a great career wrestling-wise, but to sort of change your legacy as far as how you interacted with everyone else? I imagine the guy I'm talking to in 2011, had you walked in this building for an interview in 1994, would have seemed vastly different.
Oh yeah, sure. And I don't know. I don't think consciously when I went back, I was going back, for the sole reason of showing everybody this different guy. I felt, like, holy cow, I can do this again, obviously a lot of that confidence came from the spiritual awakening that I did have.
And what year was
2002.
Okay.
It was April 14th April 12th, 2002.
So you had one of those moments.
Yeah.
What was the moment?
Well,
if it's too personal.
No. There were certainly different things that led up to it, but the biggest one was me doing stuff I shouldn't have been doing, and being sort of half out of it on my couch, and my 2-year-old son crawling on me, and just sort of rubbing Daddy's head, saying Daddy was tired, and I wasn't tired, and it just broke my heart, that I was, he was starting to notice. That he had the ability now at 2 years old to notice that I wasn't, living the way that I should be, and I just broke down. I thought, my goodness, I'm going to ruin this poor little guy, and he's bought on for none of this. You know what I mean? He just innocently came into the world, and he's looking at his daddy, and he's gonna have to figure out how to be a man by watching me, and here I was not living the way that I should have been living, and it tore me up. It tore me up, and I could not. I mean, I jokingly now tell people every time I make a good decision or someone says, like, well, why'd you quit doing that or why'd you quit doing this? And it's like, oh, same reason I do everything, my kids. You know what I mean?
Were there people who had trouble buying it when you first came back?
Sure.
Like, hey, Shawn, want to go do this, that, and the next? And you're like, no, I really don't do that.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, I can say that the guys that get my close buddies like Nash and Triple H and all them. Soon as I came back, they're like, I mean, I can remember Kevin looking at me going, dude, he goes, I can see it in your eyes. He said, you came out of that water a different man, but the guys who weren't close to me that just had to deal with me in the past, they were, we'll see, but I mean, again, one of the things, I mean, one of the biggest things for me that meant the most for me was which is ironic because years later I'd have my last match with him, was Undertaker, you know what I mean, and and him just and that's what Mark does. He just sort of looks from afar. He doesn't say much, and then at one point him coming to me and just going, dude, things are good. This is gonna be fun for us, and at the end, and that's the thing. After 2002, it was a blast. So, but to answer your question, at some point, I did start to realize like, hey, you can make things different. You can certainly change. Certainly my perception of it. There are some people that it doesn't matter.
Well, they may have had a ton of interactions with you at a different era, and they're going to say, I'll never like the guy.
Right, exactly. Well, I mean, and then also, but I'm just saying, just from one of the things I've learned is that there's two entities that will decide what the legacy of Shawn Michaels is, and I'm not one of them. And that's one of the things. So that's why, again, I don't really get into it much because everybody goes, what about your legacy? I have no control over it. The people who control the legacy of Shawn Michaels is the image that the WWE creates and the image that the internet creates. That's it. Because those are what the fans, garner their decisions from. I mean, I love them to death, but to say they're objective or independent thinkers or anything of that nature, there's too much from the WWE and there's too much from the internet for me to have any say so.
That's a really great point, though.
Well, yeah, but I mean, so you just do your best, you do your gig, and then you let the chips fall where they may, and I'm good with that. I mean, it's more important to me for again the people that I change for, my kids, and I got maybe 5 or 6 other people in my life. Mm-hmm. Those are the opinions I worry about. Again, I hope that the other ones, will follow suit, but I can't wager my life on the fact that they will.
You and Marty were officially in 1988. Basically, from that moment on, though, you became, fortunately for your legacy, really someone that the WWE painted as this important character. Because as you pointed out, that is also all part of it. The way characters are, Vince has an idea in his head based on performance and money made and how much people love them. But then it's like, well, this is that guy. And now for the last 20 some years, you've been that guy. And because of your performance, it's actually built into that and people believe it. But are there ever times where there are people who you think, for whatever things have happened, didn't get painted, their legacy wasn't made to be what you thought it really was, and maybe a performer who was, you think, really great, but for whatever reason people don't put them in that same category? Because obviously with the wrestling product, so much of it is what you're told. Even if you're a smark and you think you know everything about wrestling, we watch every week, we're inundated with what they tell us is awesome,
right?
And so I'm sure there are some people that as a result sort of go under the radar.
I guess there are. I mean, it would be tough for me to think, off the top of my head, like who's a guy who really got passed by? Because, and again, want to say, I'm sure there are. I know there are. I don't know that I can name one off the top of my head. But having said that, there is a sort of, again, everybody calls it the it factor and the this and the that, but there is a combination of things that, for whatever reason, if an individual has that, it seems to work for the majority of those guys. I can't say that I've seen a guy that has all of those attributes and still hasn't
been thought of
made it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, because there are plenty of guys, again, he's a great worker, or he's got charisma, or he's got this. I mean, he's got, and he could have all of them except one. You know what I mean? It's like, he could use a little work talking on the mic.